Now I want to talk about the development of Japanese diplomacy. Japan was originally a country that closed itself from the foreign interference, but in 1854, Japan received an order from the United States to open a Japanese trading port for the United States. Because Japan saw the United States had a stronger power.
Knock knock. It's the United States, with huge boats, with guns. Gunboats. Open the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States.
Japan agreed to the offer. European countries also saw what America was doing and started to follow America by coming to Japan. However, this caused chaos because the Japanese people considered the trade unfair, and eventually a movement emerged to expel foreigners from Japan. Japan's diplomacy began to revive when the Meiji Emperor came to power. At the time, Japan felt left behind because it did not have any army and navy that had adequate weaponry. Therefore, Japan was trying to catch up with foreign nations until now. Japan diplomacy continues to grow and now choose to use soft power diplomacy. I want to talk about the psychological war. Psywar is an abbreviation of psychological warfare. Psywar is a form of attack carried out using psychological methods with the aim of evoking a premeditated psychological reaction against another person. These are techniques or strategies used in war or conflict to influence the perception, attitude, and behavior of a particular person or group with the aim of achieving a desired goal. An example of cyber is propaganda. As we know, Japan made propaganda before entering Indonesia. The propaganda that was delivered stated that Japan was the older brother of the Indonesian people, who had the desire to create Commonwealth region in Asia Pacific region. From this reason, the 3A movement was born, namely Japan is leader of Asia, Japan is light of Asia, and Japan protector of Asia. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
Japan is one of the countries that have successfully used public diplomacy to promote their foreign policies. Public diplomacy is an important way to build mutual understanding between Japan and other countries. Japan is a country that was once quite an amazing phenomenon with its economic development and development in the 1970s to 1980s. Moreover, Japan is criticized as an economic star related to the use of its economic power around the world. In the 1970s, there had been protests in several countries in Southeast Asia, which criticized the Japanese economy, which then made Japan take a different approach by taking a cultural and economic approach, known as the Fukuda Doctrine. Another interesting thing from a cultural point of view is that Japan is a successful example where traditional culture can be slowed down, side by side, and developed together with modern culture. Japanese pop culture is also part of a force, not only economically, but can also function as part of soft power.
Soft power diplomacy is a superior national resource as a state ability that can be used to influence other countries to achieve the desired result or interest. And this is what Japan does to create a positive image for its country. The approach through cultural diplomacy is the Japanese government's effort to realize its national interest through cultural aspect, through education, science, and art, or in a large scope is propaganda in the aspect of cultural diplomacy. Japanese cultural diplomacy focus on public diplomacy, which in the end the public becomes the goal on how the products of Japanese popular culture can be accepted by the public in the destination countries. The goal of cultural diplomacy is to influence public opinion or the international community in order to support a particular country's foreign policy. Through its cultural diplomacy efforts in this era of globalization, that Japan adheres to the same values as those of international community. Japan has a strong appeal and is very unique compared to the culture in other Asian countries.
Japan Exchange Program. Japanese government has considered that in the globalized world, the role of people in international relations continues to rise so that diplomacy recently is not only involves state actors, but also non-state actors. This new diplomacy refers to public diplomacy, puts people as important actors to strengthen bilateral relations. For Japan, public diplomacy has to be about building partnership, finding commonality, and demonstrating why Japan is a Japan has initiated various youth exchange programs such as Genesis or Japan is Asia Network of Exchange for Students and Youths, Japan and Teaching Program or GTP, Global Youth Exchange Program or GYEP, and SHIP for Southeast Asian Youth Exchange Program, and many more. Japan also offers Mambuka Gakusho scholarship for studying at Japan. Based on the outline of student exchange system in Japan published by the Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport, Science and Technology in 2006, the objectives of academic exchange are to promote mutual understanding between Japan and foreign countries and build human networks, and also to nurture Japanese students with a global outlook and shape an open, vibrant society, and also to international Japanese universities and increase their competitiveness. And they are also do that to make intellectual contribution to the international community. Japan acknowledged that the student interchange through the hosting and sending of students play a significant roles in promoting mutual understanding and building strong human networks between Japan and foreign countries. Japan expects international students, including from Indonesia and many more countries, who return to their home countries, serve as a bridge between their countries and Japan. They are expected to increase the intellectual presence of Japan in the international community so that the country can build stable international relations. Japanese public diplomacy is organized by agencies such as Japan Student Service Organization or JSSO, Japan Foundation, and Japan International Cooperation Center or JICE. JASSO works under Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology, whereas Japan Foundation and JICE operate under Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Set up as an independent and administrative institution, JASSO comprehensively administers scholarship programs, support programs for international students, and student support programs. The purpose of these programs is to foster the development of creative individuals who will become leaders of society in the next generation, while at the same time to promote international understanding and exchange. Similarly, Japan Foundation aims at deepening mutual understanding between the people of Japan and other countries, cultivating friendship and ties between Japan and the world, and fostering friendship through cultural language and dialogue. Japan Foundation activities are financed by annual government subsidies, investment revenue, and donation from private sectors. The foundation claims that it is only Japan institution dedicated to carrying out comprehensive international culture exchange programs throughout the world. Japanese MOFA clearly states that Japan Foundation operates various projects to create Japan positive image in foreign countries, push the value of brand throughout Japan while encouraging greater understanding of Japan, and foster pro-Japanese individuals and groups for the future. Japanese MOFA implements the Japan Brand Program to pave the way for international exchange through the provision of information on studying in Japan, the establishment of alumni networks of foreign nationals who have studied in Japan, and the grant program for research activities. Exchange programs have also become one of JICE's main activities in recent years, after specifically focusing to strengthen private sector roles and functions in the management of official development assistance projects. JICE is currently engaged in a wide range of activities aimed at nurturing human resources across all regions and countries of the world, such as managing scholarship for study at higher educational institutions in Japan, conducting international participant training, hosting youth exchange program, providing Japanese language education and developing its teaching materials, and dispatching interpreters covering multiple languages. Nippon Hoso Kyokai as Japan International Broadcasting Media. The Japan Broadcasting Corporation, or Nippon Hoso Kyokai, also known as NHK, is a Japanese public broadcaster. NHK is a statutory corporation funded by viewers' payment of a television license fee. NHK's earliest forerunner was the Tokyo Broadcasting Station, founded in 1924 under the leadership of Count Goto Shinpei. Tokyo Broadcasting Station, along with separate organizations in Osaka and Nagoya, began radio broadcast in 1925. The three stations merged under the first incarnation of NHK in August 1926. NHK was modeled on the BBC of the United Kingdom, and the merger and the organization was carried out under the auspices of the pre-war Ministry of Communication. NHK's second radio network began in 1931 and the third radio network began in 1937. NHK World Japan currently provides three main broadcast services: an English language current affairs TV channel of the same name, a multilingual radio service, and a Japanese language general entertainment TV service. NHK World Japan also makes most of its programs available throughout its website, either it's live or on demand. A Chinese version of the TV channels NHK Hiwayushiji, which essentially provides new and select programs from NHK World Japan in Mandarin dubbing or subtitles. It was launched on January 15, 2019 and is only distributed online.